Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. The second season of the Esther and 2 series has been sponsored by Dr. and Mrs. Adam Ohayon in memory of Abraham Shlomo ben Yosef Amram and Yosef Amram ben Abraham Shlomo Zichronam Livracha. Part 10. Hayav inish lebesume ad delo yada ben Arur Haman uBaruch Mordechai. Oh, how much we love this halacha in Shulchan Aruch. A man is obligated to drink to the point where he doesn't know the difference between Arur Haman and Baruch Mordechai. The Kedushat Levi, Rav Levi Yitzchak Mibarditov, learns a powerful lesson that is eluded from this law. Whenever a person experiences any sort of evil, he should always remind himself that it's all for the good and that all comes from God. If God is only good and nothing evil can come from him, then it must be good. The lesson and moral of Purim is that every malevolent plan Haman turned into came good. The purpose of it was that so we can see God as only being Tov. Haman's lottery, his Pur, turned into our Purim. Any inkling of wickedness was cleansed. David HaMelech states in Tehillim, Mishemu'a ra'a lo yirah. From an evil calling, do not fear. This will come from constant reiteration that Hakol letovah, everything is for the good. Just like the days of Mordechai and Esther. This is the deeper significance of the halakha mentioned above. A person must bask in the light of Purim and remind himself that there is no evil whatsoever in the world. Things that are perceived as Arur Haman, or things that are perceived as Baruch Mordechai, is really all good. In truth, it's all ad delo yada, things that we just simply don't know and can't comprehend. Once there was a man who knew nothing about agriculture, came to a farmer to learn about farming. The farmer took him to his field and asked him what he saw. He saw a beautiful piece of land full of grass and pleasing to the eye. Then the visitor stood aghast as the farmer plowed up the grass and turned the beautiful green field into a mass of brown ditches. "Why did you ruin the field?" asked the man. "Be patient and you will see," answered the farmer. Then the farmer showed him a sack full of plum kernels of wheat and asked him what he sees. The visitor described the nutritious, inviting grain, and then once more watched in shock as the farmer ruined something beautiful. This time he walked up and down the furrows and dropped kernels into the open ground wherever he went. Then he covered them up with clods of soil. "Are you insane?" the man asked. "First you destroy the field, then you take this beautiful grain and you throw it underneath?" The farmer answered, "Be patient and you will see." Time went by, and once more the farmer took his guests out into the field. Now they saw endless straight rows and green stalks sprouting up from all the furrows. The visitor smiled broadly. "I apologize. Now I understand what you were doing. You made the field more beautiful than ever. The art of farming is truly marvelous." "No," said the farmer, "we are not done. You must still be patient." More time went by and the stalks were fully grown. Then the farmer came with a sickle and chopped them all down as his visitor watched open-mouthed, seeing how the orderly field became an ugly scene of destruction. The farmer bound the fallen stalks into bundles and decorated the field with them. Later, he took the bundles to another area where he beat and crushed them until they became a mass of straw and loose kernels. Then he separated the kernels from the chaff and piled them up in a huge hill. He told the visitor, "Be patient, we are not done." Then the farmer came with a wagon, piled it high and with grain, which he took to the mill. There, this beautiful grain was ground into formless, choking dust. The visitor complained again. "You have taken beautiful grain and transformed it into dust." Again, he was told to be patient. The farmer put the dust into sacks and took it back home. He took some dust and mixed it with water, while his guests marveled at the foolishness of making whitish mud. Then the farmer fashioned the mud into the shape of a loaf. The visitor saw the perfectly formed loaf and smiled broadly, but his happiness did not last. The farmer lit a fire and put the loaf into the oven. "Now I know you're insane. After all that work, you burn what you make?" The farmer looked at him and laughed. "Have I not told you to be patient?" Finally, The farmer opened the oven, took out the freshly baked bread, crisp and brown, with an aroma that made the visitor's mouth water. "Come," the farmer said. He led his guest to the kitchen table where he cut the bread, and he offered his now pleased visitor a liberally buttered slice. "Now," the farmer said, "now you understand." Says Rav Elchanan Wasserman, Hashem is the farmer, and we are the fools who do not begin to understand his ways or the outcome of his plan. Only when the process is complete will all the Jewish people know why all this happened. Then, when Mashiach has finally come, we will know why all of this had to be. Until then, we must be patient and have faith that everything, even when it seems destructive and painful, is part of the process that will produce goodness and beauty. This concludes the second season of Esther in 2. Thank you for listening. To sponsor and support the podcast or to hear other Torah lectures and ideas, make sure to check out our website at findingholiness.com. Wishing all of our listeners a Chag Purim Sameach.